You know, it's unfortunate in this town that we kind of know when things start to turn bad. And sometimes that's basketball. Sometimes that's, well, baseball is different because even when you think it goes bad, it's so long you turn around. But we certainly know when things start to go bad in a football season. And one of the things that is a telltale sign of that, one of your best players potentially on the trade block. That's happening for the Raiders who just beat us. But is this Amari Cooper trade something the Browns actually need to start to consider? I think that's a big part of Sunday's game as you get ready to go for Washington and what impact that might have on Andrew Berry getting an itchy trigger finger on if he's going to start making calls with Amari Cooper. Now, the Raiders are tied up into this too because life is all about timing. Pat McGuire, I give you one piece of advice, young person. Somebody told me this, and God, is it just over and over turned out to be true. Life is all about timing. So if you were sitting there and ready to get primed up for an Amari Cooper trade, well, he's not even the best receiver on the market anymore. There are needed teams out there. What could Sunday mean for that? Browns, we got plenty to get to. A Chubb's return. What does that mean? David Njoku potentially back. Guardians, plenty of great playoff baseball yesterday. What are they doing with these start times, man? What have they done? What have they done to my boy? We'll get to the Guardian start times coming up. We got it all. We'll get to the grid. We got time up, and we're going to kick the show right off with Noah Weiskopf of the OBR right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Pat McGuire. Good morning. Happy to have you alongside. Twitter X at Matt Fontana Show. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Twitch, and we're also up on IG. This is not me to like gloat to either Pat nor Noah who's going to join us now. I had somebody tell me, they were like, oh, you're doing a new show. And I go, yeah. They go, we searched. And the first thing that pops up is Matt Fontana Show. So you just got to hit the Google machine and you'll find us there. You can Google Noah Weiskopf all you want. Really, just go to Instagram or Twitter, Browns with Noah. Follow him there. He joins us every week. Noah, as always, man, appreciate your time. We start right with this Amari Cooper thing. So we know Davante Adams now on the block, and you know, there's certainly an impact there, but to focus just on the Browns, are you buying that they would be interested in moving Amari Cooper? Do you think that this is just a created narrative with how the Browns are playing with Cooper's contract? How close do you think the Browns might be to entertaining some trades for Amari Cooper?
I think there's a difference between making a trade or being interested in a trade. Would they be interested in adding Davante Adams to their roster? Of course. Which team wouldn't? But I don't know how realistic it is that they're going to go out and make a move like this, especially given the fact that what would they move? Would they move Amari Cooper back? Would that make any sense for either side? I'm not too sure. Do I think that they'll pick up the phone and call Tom Telesco in Las Vegas? I do. I think Andrew Berry does that for every single player that becomes available. He did it with Brandon Ayuk, and I think that got a little further than a lot of people thought. But I do think he'll pick up the phone. I think he's interested. I think that a receiver addition could be possible. Given the fact that room, Amari Cooper leads the league in drops. He has 8 drops. That is double what the second place guy is in drops.
That's sober.
The second place guy has 4. He has 8. The Browns lead the league as a team in drops as well with 14. Amari Cooper has more than half of their drops.
So off of that, which I think you bring up a great point on that, would you see this, you know, because again, if I just said they're going to trade Amari Cooper, and if they trade him for a 3, you know, wave the white flag, like it's over, and everybody's going to freak the hell out. To your point, though, Noah, if they went out and said, hey, we're going to move on from Amari Cooper, but we're still bringing something back, or we're still going to have something in return, that actually would be a lot more palatable and maybe have some hope for this season moving on. Now, I think Sunday is everything. I think Sunday is like, dude, this goes bad. We might be in a lot of trouble. But like what you're talking about, this could actually be a trade of like, this improves our football team for the rest of the year, right?
Well, bringing in Davante Adams probably is going to improve your football team one way or another. Amari has struggled. He really has. And I think that, honestly, the struggles have started once he decided to hold out there in the offseason, right? Like did he have to hold out to get that more money? I'm not sure he did. I'm not sure that was necessary to get the increase in pay to be on this roster. But I do think that it started there and it just went downhill. Just like throughout the preseason, throughout the offseason, after that, I think it all just went downhill. And there's obviously tension. I think it's significant that Amari Cooper played a big role in this game, whether that was positive or negative. He had a big role in this game and wasn't available in the locker room after the game to speak with reporters. I think that is significant. There's evident tension in the air between him and just the team in general. He's obviously not looking like himself, so we'll see what exactly it is that they decide to do. But it's hard, like, if you're the Browns, it's hard to bring in a guy like Davante Adams and then look at Jerry Jeudy and say, you're still not playing well enough to be our guy. They gave him the money. They promised him that he would be here long term, and he's played really well. Like, he has not been one of the glaring issues that the Browns have had. So I think it would be tough even for a guy like that to handle, the news of we're bringing in a different number one. We still don't think that you're that guy, but he has played really well.
Yeah, I'm off the Davante Adams. A Bet Online, who we do a lot of their like wagering type stuff, and not all these are legitimate bets, but they're just like they would set odds on things or give you lines on it just for, kind of fodder. They sent it out for Davante Adams' next team. Browns were 50-1. The Jets were 1-1. The Cowboys were up there. But the Browns, I don't see it going on. Beyond that, and Noah Weiskopf joining us from the OBR. Can follow him on Twitter and Instagram at Browns with Noah. Beyond Amari Cooper, Noah, do you feel like the Browns need to do something? And the easy answer is offensive line. And it's that old thing of, well, it's kind of like making a move if you get Jack Conklin back. Is one move enough to kind of shore things up? You got other problems. I'm sitting here and I'm trying to think if there's anything else the Browns might be able to do. They have a surplus in cap space due to all the restructuring. Draft picks are solid. We don't have a ton of extra ones. Could you see the Browns kind of waiting to see if a trade makes sense, or does it truly come down to Sunday? You fall to 1-4 and this season's over anyway.
I don't know if it's necessarily Sunday. I think that do they need to do something? 100%. They have to do something, whether that's make a trade or just focus on what you have and get better. They need to do something, or else the season's going to go off the rails really fast. Do I think that if they lose their next couple games, then that's like, what do they do, right? It's like, are they going to make a trade, whether that's bringing someone in or shipping someone out? Like, what do you do in that situation? If you're a one-win football team after like week 6, I mean, you're not really in a position to make the playoffs at that point. So then, are you moving a guy like Amari Cooper? Are you trying to get additional draft capital? Are you looking to really, develop and build in the draft this upcoming season? But yes, they need to do something. What that is, I'm not positive, because I think it really is to wait and see. First of all, they need to get better with what they have. If they can't do that, then they're not going to be able to make the playoffs. They're not going to be able to contend for anything. I will say, I don't know how interested they are in bringing in an offensive lineman, at least at this point. I do know that there have been at least one name I know for sure that's been floated around that the Browns sort of shot down, that they weren't really interested in, a veteran-type offensive lineman. So I don't really know if that's something they're interested in. They need these guys to get healthy and get back on the field. I don't know, specifically with DeJuan Jones. He doesn't look the part. I mean, he doesn't look, honestly, he looks big, right? Like, he needs to be able to be in a position to play at a reasonable weight to be able to look the part at tackle. And if he can't do that, potentially move him inside. I know that that's some of the issues. And I think the Eagles did it with Mekhi Becton, moving him inside, tackle moving inside, and now he's playing much better. So maybe that's a way you go, but you got to get healthy. You got to get Jedrick Wills, Jack Conklin back on the field.
It's funny, Noah, because you mentioned Becton, and I see him in there at guard, and you're like, geez, oh man. You're like, usually those tackles are much bigger than the guards, but he is there. And now we're in a world where, maybe Conklin does go back to right, and you do get Jed Wills back over to the left, but we got to get those guys back. One guy on the return path is Nick Chubb. They open his window today. No, I'm anything I get. He picks up 2 yards on his first carry. I go, great. That's more than I ever expected. Now, I know how good Nick Chubb is. I don't ever want him to play football for any other team other than Cleveland Browns. And I'm glad that we're just in this process coming back. But no, where are you with Nick Chubb? What are you hearing about Nick Chubb? Potential? We know not this weekend, but is there potential for the Eagles games, or do you think they're going to use up all 21 days of this window to get him back?
Yeah, I think fans probably need to pump the brakes a little bit. Getting back to practice is obviously a huge deal, but I still think that there's a little bit of time here before he hits the field. Again, 21 days. I think they'll take most of that, if not all of it.
To the rest of the injuries, we'll get Njoku back too, which is great. We talked about the offensive line. Myles Garrett, though, and this is just something that we probably got to be prepared for, that every week this is going to come back up, and I'm assuming today he's not going to be out there in practice as we kind of move forward. But what have you seen, Noah, with that defense? Because I do think Myles showed up on Sunday. Nobody else did. DB's had a couple of plays. 𝗟𝗓𝗓 Smith and 𝗟𝗓𝗩𝗘 are just MIA at this moment. We got the Mike Hall news yesterday. Not much to discuss there. He's going to miss one more game. He'll give his money back. Okay, fine. But at this point, do you see this as a potential unraveling of the defense tied up in Myles Garrett's feet injury right now? Or am I just a nervous Browns fan on the edge right now? Or do you see this as something that's going to be felt throughout the entire defense if Myles can't be as effective as he can be?
Well, the defense has certainly been a major disappointment. As much as everyone likes to point the finger at the line, the offense, the defense has to play their part in the game as well. If the defense is struggling all year, then the offense won't be able to play at their best. The Browns are at their best in any team when they're playing complementary football. I think up front, Myles Garrett is your guy that's limited, but he's still the only one causing really pressure and getting a sack. Like, he's really still the only guy producing on your defensive line, and they need those guys to step up. 𝗟𝗓𝗓 Smith, like you mentioned, 𝗟𝗓𝗩𝗑 haven't done much. They have not really found the stat sheet. You haven't seen them get the pressures, and that affects everything. The game starts up front, which is why the Browns haven't been playing well, is because offensive line, defensive line, they haven't found it. And that relates back to the DBs. You see these DBs playing way off the line of scrimmage. I think that they're going to start needing to play up more. If you can't get home, then there's no reason. Like, the defensive line helps the DBs so much, right? Like, if the D-line's not getting pressure, it leaves these DBs in these one-on-one situations for more than 2 to 3 seconds. Like, you've got to get home, and that's affecting everyone. But yeah, I think like Martin Emerson, for example, has not had a great season. So they need these guys to start to step up, and that all starts on the defensive line, getting pressure without blitzing the quarterback, which is something they did so much last year. Now this year, not really able to do it at all.
I think it's a record, Noah, that we've gone this far and not mentioned Deshaun Watson. Now, there's not much to bring up, but I just want to get your take because we've talked about it all week. I thought he played better. Was the bar extremely low? Yeah, but I did think he played better. There were some things to grab onto for improvement. Want to see it again this Sunday, but no, I sent the tweet out. When Watson plays well, but nobody else does, you're still going to lose. When Watson plays poorly and everybody else plays great, you're still probably going to lose. Just where do you think the Browns are at with Watson as we saw marginal improvement on Sunday?
Yeah, they have to get on the same page. Now, I will say, did Deshaun look better last weekend? Yes, he did. He made throws. He stood in the pocket. He took shots, but he still made those throws. But the only difference to me is that he's not making the game-winning play. And I think that a lot of people are, sort of parading around the fact that Deshaun had a good game. But in the end, you're paying a quarterback this amount of money. He's got to make the game-winning play, which we have not seen yet this season. Whether he plays great or not in the game, it is what it is. If you can't make the 4th and 3 play when you're driving down the field to go win the game, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. So you need to see him make the game-winning play, which we haven't seen yet. But yeah, man, those drops are not helping Deshaun. They're not helping the receivers. They're not helping the team at all. So they need to clean that stuff up. They need to, yeah.
One thing before you go, just because I had this conversation with somebody the other day, and they're like, I don't think we understand the missing of David Njoku. And I was like, listen, I've covered football for a long time. I'm a football fan. I'm a former tight end, so I love it. I'm all for it, man. But I'm also like, is that really where we're at? And I stopped myself to wonder, because we're all trying to find answers. And sometimes there are no answers at this point about why the Browns are struggling. But do you buy that, Noah, that maybe David Njoku, missing him, has had a bigger impact than we really thought?
I think that it has an impact for sure. He's a really, really good tight end. He's a top tight end in this league. His athletic ability, his ability to go up and get the ball and be a safety blanket for quarterbacks. I know we hear that phrase time and time again, but he really is. And I think that he does play a big impact in this. And, for them, hopefully getting him back this weekend could be a big step in the right direction. But you can't put it all on not having your tight end out there, right? Like, you saw other guys at tight end making an impact. Blake Whiteheart, who they just added now a couple weeks ago, you saw him making an impact. So I don't think that you can necessarily put the whole blame on not having David Njoku. They've got to figure out the drops. They've got to make those game-winning plays. They've got to figure out offensive line, and they really do have to figure out their defense. They have to get pressure. But I will say, if you want a positive outside of Deshaun Watson from last, Jerome Ford, he had a good game. He averaged just over 5 yards a carry. I mean, he had a good game. He looks like a professional.
There it is. Noah, I always appreciate your time, man. Drop a follow. Browns with Noah. God, do we need this weekend, man? Hopefully we'll talk to you next week after a big rallying win for the season, all right?
Big time. See ya.
There he goes. Noah Weiskopf. Always appreciate his time. And that's where Sunday comes for me, Pat, of like, I know that the Browns are in a tough spot right now. I think Sunday's your Amari Cooper game. I really do. And, as we started the conversation today, and we're going to have a lot of conversations about Amari Cooper, Davante Adams going on the trade block, nobody's shocked by that. Nobody. If anything, maybe you're a little shocked that the Raiders are 2-2 and maybe in this, and they're going to keep trying. And I saw the tweet because this news comes out, which I think is so interesting yesterday, right? News comes out for me and Rapport, Mike Garafolo. Davante Adams goes to the Raiders. He said he would like to be traded. Okay, well, we don't like things in life. Sometimes it doesn't always happen. Then the follow-up was, there are plenty of scenarios that he remains in Vegas. Now, I think that's a load of bullcrap. Once you've requested that, there ain't no going back. Okay, once you have at least entertained that idea, I think that's really hard to come back from. But they're going to play that because they want to hold the cards of these teams that come call and say, well, we'll just keep Davante Adams back. I think it was always set up for that. I think you were always on a crash course for that because the Raiders are going to be in a pseudo rebuild. You basically keep Max Crosby, maybe, Max Crosby, Brock Bowers. That's about it. The offensive line, maybe a couple of guys here. You're in a borderline rebuild. You're going to go find your quarterback. You can move on from Davante Adams and get at least the second-round pick, in my opinion, for him, and you can move forward. But when you think about that dynamic of this time, of this coming out, he's not stupid. He knows what has happened the past 2-3 weeks. Cooper Kupp, done. Not done, but out. Puka Nacua, out. That's just the Rams. What happened to Rashee Rice? What has happened now with Aaron Rodgers up there with the Jets? Dallas, we'll get to, because I'm going to go to Graziano and Fowler's mailbag. Really interesting this morning. We'll get to. All these trades are now starting to get primed because we've seen a rash of injuries. They know what they're doing over there. But it's not shocking that this has come up for the Raiders. The fact that we're even at a point 4 games in that we are legitimately talking about an Amari Cooper trade is crazy to me. It's crazy. Now, I also did not see us at 1-3. I did not see us kind of where we're at right now. But that's where Sunday's game, I think, is all about the Amari Cooper trade. And you might say, if we lose Sunday, season's over anyway. Go ahead and trade him away, get your piece, and move on forward. Fine, I understand that. To Noah's point, if you traded him for a needed piece, if it was really something that you got a guy that you could use, the team got a guy that you could use, maybe that's a little more salvageable. But I think this game tells you everything you need to know. And I wasn't ready, and I'm not ready to pack this season, and that's why oh my God, do I need the Browns to win on Sunday. We need that to stave all this kind of stuff off. But it all boils back to this. Browns fans probably don't want to hear this. The right thing to do is trade Amari Cooper. Do I want him traded? No, because I know what that signals to the season. Do I want him traded because we have a luxury of wide receivers to throw to? Not at all. The right thing to do with his restructured contract on a base level salary, the fact that you have other guys that are playing, that he's dropping these passes, he seems to not have this connection with Deshaun Watson, and then if you want to boil it down to a factor of if he's not all right there or it's not working right now with him and the team, Pat, that move needs to be made. Maybe even before, regardless of what happens on Sunday, maybe that's the boat that we're in.
Yeah, I think so too. And honestly, to be honest with you, Washington's secondary, one of the worst in the league. It's them and Arizona. So this game is going to be critical.
Should be a right game.
It should be 49-48, that type of a game, to be honest with you, because the way that the Browns defense is playing, I'm pretty scared about Jaden Daniels. I know he tore up Arizona or whatever, but this is the
Arizona
type of
plays no defense.
No, they play no defense.
They play no
Buda
defense.
Baker can only do so much.
Yeah.
But this is a get-right
God,
game
did I
for the
want
Browns.
him out of the draft so bad, by the way. Not to set aside, but they're just guys you always see around the league.
Yeah, you circled his name.
Dude, Nick Bolton. And now we got Jeremiah Usu-Koramoah.
Yep.
I'm
I
not
was
going to
shocked he
complain.
dropped down to 54
but
or whatever.
man, did I want Nick Bolton bad. I wanted him bad out of Missouri. Sorry, I don't mean to digress.
It's
You mentioned
exactly
Budda
right.
Baker, and he was one that I was like, Tony Grossi. I was working with Tony a lot. I covered the Browns. Tony loved Budda Baker coming out of the draft, and I was like, that's the guy.
He was one of those can't miss players too, because it's the type of players you see like with the effort. JOK has the effort. Budda Baker has the effort. But the Browns this week, it feels like a get-right game in terms of the offense. The defense will need to do their job, but more importantly, the offense, because that's the issue with this team right now is the offense, especially with the drama. If Amari Cooper gets 2 touchdowns, Jerry Jeudy 10 catches, something along those lines, I think it's possible, and I think it would be helpful for this team.
So we go over to Dan Graziano and Jeremy Fowler, and they do this after every single week where they do buzz updates. It's kind of like their mailbag. And the first thing they were asked about, teams they expect to be active in the trade market. Now, they start with the Dallas Cowboys. DeMarcus Lawrence, IR, he's out. Micah Parsons is going to miss a game. Should they go try to trade for Hassan Reddick and that freaking nightmare for the Jets and all that? And then, of course, he brings up the Chiefs, talking about Graziano, with the Rashee Rice injury, but he mentions Chiefs have kind of taken this Patriots approach. We'll win with the guys that we got. Fowler says, I'm with you on Dallas, perhaps combing that mid-tier pass rush market. Kansas City, indeed, is the easy answer there. And then Fowler brings up Amari Cooper. Want to read what he writes. If Cleveland continues to slide, Amari could be an attractive option because of his contract restructure, paying him on the minimum base salary. Graziano. Cooper to Pittsburgh would be something to watch. Now, he says in-trade divisions are very hard to pull off and execute. And he says, I expect the Steelers to be on Davante Adams, maybe DeAndre Hopkins, and wondering if Christian Kirk is now expendable down there in Jacksonville with the dumpster fire they have going on. That ain't happening. No, there's no way. And at that point, I'd rather keep him.
Correct.
F your third-round pick, Pittsburgh. I'm not helping you do anything, okay?
Correct.
And I get that he brought it up because you're just circling teams and you're sitting there and you're saying, all right, they need something for the now. And that's the thing. Amari Cooper's on an expiring contract, to use an NBA term. I do look at it in those other teams, you give them to Kansas City. Okay, that's fine. Are we going to compete with you guys this year? I don't know. Doesn't look that way. And I don't have to worry about it in the future. I have this gnawing thing that there are so many arrows, Pat, that just point towards the with how this offseason started. Now, you're going to have to go to Andrew Berry's got to sit down with Jimmy Haslam and go, that restructured money that you gave, you paid $20 million for a third-round draft pick, right? That's it. This ain't Brock Osweiler where we took that money out and get a second-round pick and eventually took Nick Chubb. That worked out. You might have to sit down with Jimmy Haslam, which is such an now is not the time for this conversation, but how many times Andrew Berry's had to sit down with the Haslams and go, and you pull that checkbook out again. 50 million, 20 million. Just keep on this. Now, again, it's it's in the best interest of the team and you keep this cap flexibility, but all of these arrows just continue to point towards this is something the Browns have got to entertain. Now, Noah brought up a fantastic point. There's two differences between you fielding calls or you trying to make phone calls. And that's where you're going to have to ascertain what the Browns are trying to do. Are they on the phone calling teams about Amari Cooper, or are they just, as Andrew Berry should, picking the phone up and going, yeah, he's available, or there's an option there? That eventually leaks out. Now, here's the other problem. You take a step down that path, it is going to get out, and you are going to have to deal with the ramifications of that. That is already a guy that seems to be miffed right now with the Browns, a guy that's not getting the same balls thrown his way. And I get it. You want to boil it down. Amari Cooper's playing for money. And I'm not saying that in a negative way at all. Every time he steps out on the field, he is trying to show a team next year, I deserve a contract. I deserve money. Because aging wide receivers might be one of the worst things to be in the NFL. Because you see the riches of the drafts of these young players. Dude, a fraction of the price, and you can go find me. Dude, even Wan'Dale Robinson, stuff like that. Now, you'd be sitting there and saying, did you just make that comparison? No, but you see the talent of the receivers coming out. running backs are certainly the position you don't want to be. But an aging wide receiver in today's NFL, that's a tough position to be in. Now, Davante Adams has his money locked up. He's good to go. And that might hurt him a little bit with the money. I pulled this up yesterday. Davante Adams' contract, he signed a 5-year, $140 million deal. This year, he is on the hook for a $25.3 million cap hit. Now, there's a potential out after this season. That's something that you'd have to take on $15 million of dead cap if you wanted to move on from Davante Adams, whoever might trade for him or the Raiders holding on to him, whatever that case may be. So that's not a horrible contract. But when you look at some of the teams and why they might make sense, I brought somebody put Buffalo, because what did everybody do yesterday? Here's 10 teams that could trade for Davante Adams. And I thought Buffalo was intriguing. Bro, they have no salary cap. They have $3 million in salary cap. That's it. So you're going to have to find somebody that could take on a hit of 25 if they want to go trade for him. My interest in that related to the Browns is, if you were interested in Amari Cooper trade, that value just it got undercut so bad. Now, I say that to say this, Pat. What does that help you with? You can't afford Davante Adams. Hey, we got an option here for you. Sometimes it's not all bad when a top market thing becomes available, because that's going to price some people out. And there's some people that might see Davante Adams get traded. Let's just say, let me play this out for a second. Just me. Let's say he goes to the Jets. I mentioned Bet Online. You want to run through the whole list of teams for Davante Adams? So this is just them doing, fun stuff, right? Jets are 1-1 right now. They're the favorite. Wow. Commanders 3-1. Chiefs 5-1. Steelers 6-1. The Saints 7-1. It's kind of fictitious, but those would be the betting odds of Davante Adams' next team. I mentioned it with Noah. The Browns are 50-1 on that list. So he ain't coming here. I don't think he is. But let's just say he goes to the Jets. Okay. Does that put fear into Buffalo that we need to do something here? And we can't afford him, but then maybe Amari Cooper is your, I don't say bargain option here, but he is your better option on that, potentially. Now, I think the Bills are a lot like the Chiefs. They'll do it with Khalil Shakur, and I don't want to overreact to one game against Baltimore, but it is good, too, that things are getting chummed up now, and this kind of stuff is starting to happen. If the Browns are even interested in it. Let's post our Twitter question this morning, Pat. At Matt Fontana Show. Would you be interested in trading away Amari Cooper? Not do you think they're going to do it? It's just, would you be interested in doing it? At this point, at this juncture of the road, would you be interested in doing it? And I hate myself for answering the question like I'm going to, but it's the truth. I am. This season teeters on Sunday, which is just like, again, can't ever be easy, man. It all teeters on Sunday. And they could go out there and Amari Cooper could set the NFL record and Deshaun Watson throws for 450 yards and maybe we'll sing a different tune. But right now, with where we sit, you have to entertain the idea of trading away Amari Cooper. And you might be saying, for what, a third-round draft pick? For this, for that? I don't know. But that is another thing that you would hope the Browns had enough fortitude to be able to handle that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you sat down and really said, this was the best move for the organization, this made the most sense, this would send us off into the abyss, though. Back in the day, when I think we were maybe a more mentally tough team, you could see through it. You could see the end of the tunnel there. Right now, you can't, because it's going all bad. And there would be narratives about, well, Watson better step up now, and you're taking away his number one receiver, if the Browns even wanted to do all that. That's another part. If you made this move, now again, I think Sunday is going to be your linchpin on that whole thing. That gets yanked out, it's all over anyway, and you're calling teams, you're probably going to be making those moves, and that's fine. But at this point, you've got to be entertaining it. And I hate that. I really do. I don't want to be here. That is one of the steps towards this season going down the tubes, is when you get there and guys eventually start getting rumored for trades or they don't want to be here anymore. And it just sucks that we're here 4 games through. But it's the right thing for Andrew Berry to do, is at least entertain that, Pat. And I don't like it. But that's where we're at. You got no one to blame but the play on the field of where. And I think it's also about, do you have other teams to step up? Potentially, yeah, I don't know. But, like, okay, here we are. You want to go all in on Jerry Jeudy. Here's your potential. I do want to run through the rest of the mailbag from Graziano and Fowler, because there were a couple other interesting things in there. So they were then asked about, what are you hearing about the Davante Adams situation? Graziano says, they kicked things off on Tuesday. There's a lot of different reports, but what seems clear after yesterday is there is some situation that the Raiders could trade Adams. If nothing else, it seems like it's the first time that they're entertaining that. The deadline is November 5th, so you have a month to try to get that done, and we'll see where that goes. Next up, the most impactful offseason addition to any team around the league has been what? And Fowler says it's either got to be Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, or J.K. Dobbins, right? Like, those guys are 1, 3, and 6 in rushing yards this year as new guys on new teams. It's hard to not think about those additions being the huge ones there. And I was thinking about that for the Cleveland Browns. It's got to be Jerry Jeudy. But what has been our biggest offseason addition? Sure as hell not Ken Dorsey, I'll tell you that. Your biggest departure was Bill Callahan. That's not good. When your biggest loss of the offseason outweighs your biggest gain, you're in trouble. And I really think at this point, the loss of Bill Callahan outweighs Jerry Jeudy.
I'll tell you what.
Would you trade Jerry Jeudy for Bill Callahan right now?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Isn't
that where we're at? Isn't that something? Isn't that something right now?
Don't you think Bill's regretting that too? Being down in Tennessee with his son.
No, I don't think so.
Trying to be with Will Levis, watching that quarterback play.
It's with his son, man. It's with his son. I don't know what to tell you. I don't think he regrets that.
A little Mason Rudolph action. Man, it's got to be a tough situation.
Why are they still starting Will Levis, by the way?
Yeah,
I mean, Callahan came out and he's like, no, we're gonna keep Will Levis. I'm like, why?
The way that you've spoken about him too, but yeah, Bill Callahan is easily the biggest departure, and honestly, I thought Jerry Jeudy was going to be way more consistent as well. I understand that there's a lot of quarterback play, but Jerry Jeudy isn't one of those deep shots. Amari Cooper can get you down the field a little bit more. He's not like a deep threat necessarily, but Jerry Jeudy, inside of 10 yards from the line of scrimmage, I thought he would just eat all day long. But we haven't necessarily seen that yet. So if they can really take off in this Washington game, I think it'll change a lot of minds.
Another thing out of the mailbag from Graziano and Fowler about Jaden Daniels. We get geared up. This is from Jeremy Fowler. Jaden Daniels' impressive start is hardly a surprise to the people in the Commanders building. One person with the team pointed out about his accuracy. Quote, the ball barely touched the grass all spring. It's not just that he's special. He's constantly working to get better. A separate team source. Jaden Daniels is in the building early, and he's a tone setter. He's already 4th in the NFL in QBR. The offense has only punted once in their past 3 games. And he is doing this without a real number 2 receiver behind Scary Terry. But so far, the Commanders, who didn't make a splashy move for Brandon Ayuk or other available receivers, are in part to build for the future. They've been very pleased with Noah Brown, Luke McCaffrey, Zach Ertz. Daniel's maturity on and off the field is why this team isn't worried about difficulties of handling success. That's some high praise about Jaden Daniels right there. And I bring that up just more about something to get geared up and ready to go for Sunday about accuracy. Well, if we've seen one thing, Pat, about Deshaun Watson, what wrecks accuracy? Pass rush. Get in his face, get some hits in there, and we'll see where that goes. Other thing over to NFL Nation reporters, 10 questions on NFL quarterbacks. Yes, there is a Deshaun Watson one. What is the coaching staff's level of concern with Deshaun Watson's struggles? From Daniel Oifusi, the Browns reporter. Watson has posted the lowest QBR of all qualified passers, and he's averaging just 5 yards per attempt through 4 games. But the coaching staff believes there have been bright moments to build on. Against the Raiders, he threw the go-ahead touchdown that was wiped out by the holding penalty. Kevin Stefanski has acknowledged that Watson can be better, but he has the same he has said the same about the supporting cast. Watson needs to better, so does everybody else, which has been plagued by drops and bad protection. So at least from Daniel there, the optimism with Deshaun Watson, which at this point, they don't have a choice, okay? They don't have a choice but to be optimistic and hope that you can play it out here with Deshaun Watson. But I just thought, again, the positivity, got to start there. Let's see. You want to answer the other 9 questions surrounding NFL quarterbacks on starts? Here we go. Number 1, what is the main takeaway about Josh Allen's start with a different supporting cast? And I'm just going to boil that down to this. What do you think about Josh Allen right now, Pat? He's winning. They're 3-1, bad game against the Ravens, but he's doing it with what they thought they might see, right? Without Stephon Diggs, okay, he could spread the football around, and he gets all of these other guys. Dalton Kincaid's been a little slow to start. Dawson Knox, Keon Coleman. What do you make of Josh Allen's start? I got a hot take. I want yours first, though.
I don't know. It feels like the same thing to me. Feels like the same offense that they were running previously. I know James Cook is really able to take a lot of pressure.
Cook, you're right, yeah.
Able to take a lot of pressure off of Josh Allen. They didn't really lean into him until the second half of the year last year. But it just feels like the same Bills to me. Maybe I haven't tapped in too much, but it just feels like the same offense to me. I don't think there's a whole lot of difference, but it seems like Josh has maybe come back down to earth on trying to force deep throws so much. That's always going to be his game, but it seems like he's making better decisions. But overall, to me, it feels like the same Bills offense.
They need to go get Devontae Adams.
I
and
agree.
I said they
I
can't.
agree.
They don't have the salary cap to do it. I think you tried it, and you had a little success. That goes a long way for Josh Allen and his own mental state. Go get him. Von Miller got suspended yesterday. That's some money off the cap. What if you just got rid of his $30 million?
Wow.
I don't know how they could do that. He got suspended for domestic violence a year ago. Could they get off that contract? Is there a way to do that? I have no idea. But I just thought about it. He signed a 6-year, $120 million deal with the Buffalo Bills. There is an out after this season that they will be taking. His cap hit is only 15 for this year, though. And again, that he'll be gone. There's no way. He's 35 years old. He's done. But when you not trade Von Miller for in 2 seconds, you would trade Von Miller to get Devontae Adams. So
100%.
off the question there, Josh Allen, I think it's been fine, but there's something more that you got to see. 10 quarterback questions around the league. Next, how are the Jags going to fix Trevor Lawrence? Is he even fixable? At this point, my craziest thing with Trevor Lawrence, why does he overthrow everybody? It seems like every throw that he has is 6 yards above the head of his receiver. I like Brian Thomas. He's facing pressure when he's dropping back. Is Trevor Lawrence ever going to be the quarterback that people thought he was going to be?
I just don't think so.
Okay.
I know you're higher on him than I am.
I was. I'm starting to fade.
I just don't see it because it feels like, I know I mentioned this yesterday on the show, but it feels like Baker when he was kind of unraveling here in Cleveland, where it's just up here.
Yeah.
It's
the talent's still there, but it's
talent
just something.
is still there. And I think getting Doug Peterson out of there might be helpful.
Which is crazy. I thought Doug Peterson was going to be the key to unlocking him, but here we are.
Yeah, my brother and I have gone back and forth on that one about whether the Eagles championship was Doug Peterson, whether he's a good coach or not. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But Trevor Lawrence, I think, could do well with another coach. But he went from Urban Meyer to Doug Peterson to who are you going to get? That's kind of the big thing is there's no Matt LaFleur walking through the door, Yeah. So that's one of the difficult things is he's got to settle it between the ears. Yeah. And that's the main thing.
Next up, quarterback questions around the league. What's most surprising about Sam Darnold's hot start? Here's a stat of all stats from Kevin Seifert. This season, Sam Darnold has only played 5 snaps and attempted 2 passes with the Vikings trailing. And that all came in week 1. So he has played 3 straight games where every time he steps on the field, it's either tied or he has the lead. That's how you win. That's how you got something cooking there with Minnesota. Next up, when do we see Drake May get his first start? I'm going to say after this week. I said around Halloween, I think pressure is growing there. They understand that situation, but I'd be thinking about it. I really would. Jacoby Brissett, though, he's taken 40 quarterback hits at this point. You really want to put your rookie in there to get smacked around like that? Probably not, but I think eventually you got to put Drake May in there, and I think that time is going to be very, very soon.
Yeah, you got to find out what you got. I mean, head coach Gerard Mayo, I mean, he's just got to figure it out. At a certain point, you got to turn the page from Bill and Tom Brady and everybody, and that's probably the easiest way to do it. Is I know they love Jacoby Brissett up there, but he's not going to do anything for you long term.
Right.
You got to figure out at running back, wide receiver. They don't really have any weapons.
They never have.
Ramondre
For
Stevenson
some reason,
is
they never do.
fine. He fumbles all the time. But they just don't have any real talent other than, I mean, Hunter Henry's up there, Austin Hooper, I guess. Hooper! But they just don't have any talent. I mean, don't you think they'd be a sneaky, like, oh, we're going to get Davante Adams for no reason. Like, just genuinely get him him a weapon for no reason. He'll just waste away in New England. But you got to see Drake May sooner than later.
All right, final thing. There's other things in here. They talk about Aaron Rodgers. Like, eventually, I think he'll get it figured out. Can Daniel Jones be the guy? Jalen Hurts turnovers. Justin Fields, who is now very much the... What do you think about Russell Wilson getting traded? If you're Miami, would you call about Russell Wilson?
I think you have to.
I don't know how they haven't called for somebody, but I'd make that call. Now, if you're the Steelers, he's on a bottom barrel contract and you're trying to make the playoffs, why would you get another AFC team a quarterback? But could they get desperate? We'll have to see. The final thing is about Jaden Daniels. And I want to bring this up because we're playing Washington. What 3 words describe Jaden Daniels' rookie campaign so far? Here are the 3. Poise, accuracy, and humility. This comes from John Kine, the great reporter for the Commanders and ESPN. He said, it's gotten to that point that Dan Quinn needs a thesaurus to find words besides poise to describe Jaden Daniels' pocket presence. He didn't flinch under a distress throw against the Bengals, delivering a 27-yard dime to Terry McLaurin while he was hit. He's completed 82% of his passes. But the accuracy shows even more in his ability to lead players for yards after the catch. The poise and accuracy also explain having just 1 turnover through 4 games. The humility comes out just 2 days after the Cincinnati win when he referred to it as just another game, that he was only able to do his 1/11th part of the offense, which why teammates gravitate towards him. And they find something maybe in Jaden Daniels. And we'll get that look at him on Sunday, obviously. But really impressive stuff for him so far. And can we get a turnover maybe on Sunday? I'm feeling that. I'm feeling a turnover.
Over under 0.5 turnovers?
Something like that. Like, I don't want to say strip sack, but it's like off, the hands and popped up in the
he's
air.
He's still a rookie at the end of the day.
He is still a rookie at the end of the day.
I mean, Schwartz is going to really try to pressure him. And I think
he's got to get in his face.
So that's the thing, too, is like Arizona doesn't really have the ability to do that. That's why they put up 42 points last week. But I think Schwartz is going to throw some looks that he hasn't seen at Jaden Daniels hasn't seen yet. So that's one of the things that I would look forward to on this defense. I think the Browns can actually get it done. I know they're 3-point underdogs, which is kind of wild.
Which is kind of crazy.
Kind of crazy. I don't actually hate the Browns money line at all. We'll get to those later.
Oh, I got it. We have no choice. Yeah, we have to do it.
But I don't know. He's playing phenomenal football, but the way that people are talking about him and Malik Neighbors being like, oh, he's a 10-time Pro Bowler, he's going to be whatever this. We got to pump the brakes a little bit. I mean, people have had hot starts to the season, but Jaden Daniels looks like the real deal. I'm just worried that the hype might outmatch what he can do.
Yeah, we'll have to see. All right, plenty more football I want to get to in hour 2 because CBS went through the panic meter in the NFL, and I would have thought the Browns were, burying the needle. Maybe not so, and I'll tell you about that coming up. But we got to flip over and talk some guards. What are those start times, man? And I get it.
Be so for real.
Dude, what in the hell? And because they obviously think it's Detroit now. They waited for that to come out. Now you got Detroit. You think that. 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock? Come on.
Somebody said they're going to air that game on Disney Plus.
I'm so pissed. And I'm pissed because I have tickets for game 2. I don't want to go down there at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
Now, the thing is, what is Detroit and Houston? 2 o'clock each of the 2 days. But,
that's garbage.
It's such garbage, man. I get it. They only want the one game on at one point. And I was like a lot of fans, man. I loved being able to watch baseball all day.
Love it.
I'm fine with the 1 o'clock Saturday. I really am. Could you not have given us just the night game? You can't, though. Why? Because it's the freaking Yankees. Bastards. That's wrong. You don't have a West Coast team holding this up. You're not out in L.A. You're not out there in Seattle where you could have a night game and open things up for 2 straight night games. I knew it was going to happen. I'm so pissed. I'm so mad.
Have we put a bid in for Big Play to carry the game yet? Have we
cut that.
try to get that one?
Ken, cut that check.
Yeah, cut that check. Can we put the Guardians game on Big Play? We're not far
We'll do
off.
that. We'll do it.
We're not
That's
far
fine.
off.
What do you think the MLB TV rights package is worth?
I don't know, man, but
I'm searching right
a lot of change in that landscape. I'll tell you that.
Okay. ESPN, Fox, and TNT have a deal for 7 years ending in 2028. And then Apple has another deal. Those Apple games suck ass, too. I hate those games. But I'll just talk about ESPN, Fox, and TNT. For the national playoff package, 7 years, what do you think it's worth, if you had to guess? We're in the billions. Clearly, we're in the billions.
7 years.
7 years.
Knowing baseball, 7 years for $5 billion.
Close. $12 billion.
Close.
$12 billion to get it. Kind of close. You're in the. But it's like, the
Double
NFL's
it,
package is 70. It's like the
you look at
NBA
the
is,
new
I think,
NBA
what,
deal?
40
Oh
or
my
50
God.
or something like that?
Yep.
Like, how far baseball is behind on that is just nuts.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely nuts.
And then you
But yeah,
think
just
about,
cut
like,
that
they
check.
got
We'll do it.
those random Apple TV games and then the Roku
I
games.
hate those. I hate those so
Yeah.
much.
So that's the other thing, too, is like MLB shoots themselves in the foot all the time. I've got MLB TV.
Yeah.
Can't watch the guards,
Well,
I understand out of town, that type of thing. However, but they just shoot themselves in the foot. That's why you're losing all this money.
So here's my thing on the baseball, right? So I'm a recent convert, okay? I'm on YouTube TV. I love it. I've been on it about a week and a half now.
It's great.
Big fan. It's awesome. What I found out about Bally's, though, that nobody told me, that even if the Guardians were playing, say this is a regular season, say it's July, Pat, I can't watch them with just buying Bally's. You know how you pay for Bally's? You are required to have a TV provider to watch Guardians. So now I'm on a ticking clock here where the Blue Jackets and the Cavs start. I'm going to buy it actually this month. I'm going to need it for October. So I'm going to sign up for it. I'm going to pay for it October, November, December, January, February, and as far as I need to go for the Cavs. But eventually when the Guardians come back around, I'm going to need something to watch them. Now, the thing I'm waiting for is what happens with Diamond and Bally's and I'm hoping they get that figured out. They go to Amazon Prime or something like that. But then you might have to pay $20 a month just to watch baseball because they might not take the Guardians, the Cavs and the Blue Jackets. It's so nuts. The start times, though, they suck. And I know there's nothing I can do. I just need to get it off my chest and bitch about it for a second. There's nothing baseball is going to do to change it. You're a low market team, whatever, deal with it. It's just the Monday 4 o'clock sucks. The Monday 4 o'clock sucks.
It's terrible.
I hate it, but here we are. All right,
Would you feel differently if we were on the road with a 4 o'clock start?
Well, I think. I mean, honestly, yeah. The reason I'm so pissed is because I have tickets to go, and now I can't go. I cannot go.
Curious.
I'm not going to be able to find it. My wife and my brother got tickets. I don't know how we're going to, and that's a personal problem. Nobody cares about me and my kids. I get understand, but it's like
it's on a day-to-day fan basis.
That is
though.
like right. Like, and I guess the opportunity is open. I guess I could take my son to the game if he really wanted to go, but like,
sure,
it's just.
It's garbage.
It's garbage.
I mean,
it just
same
sucks.
thing would happen in Detroit if Detroit was the 1 seed. They'd be playing at 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock. But then people can't go to these games. You know what I mean? Like, I can't. We were thinking about going to the game. My dad
not
works
even
till
that.
5.
Like we're okay.
Can't do
Even
it.
just talking about Jensen, we're gonna do live pre-games from Lakewood Truck Park. It would be more packed. Bars in downtown be flowing. Lakewood Truck Park with Jensen on Saturday is gonna be packed if it was 7 o'clock. I'm not saying that people, and Dave sent a great tweet about it yesterday. He goes, well, just day drinking. Ain't nothing wrong with that. People get there early, but that's another economic impact, to talk about all that. So the start times kind of got screwed, but there's nothing we can really do. Baseball was interesting. They ranked the top 40 players in the entire postseason. Where's Emmanuel Clase? Where's Jose Ramirez? Let's find out. Number 1. You want to guess? Ryan's pretty good at this. You want to try?
Ooh, number 1.
Just of all the players in postseason, don't overthink it.
Gotcha.
Just in the postseason, all the players that are playing in the postseason right now, who is number 1?
Shohei Ohtani.
That is correct. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Don't worry. And he says the postseason impact rankings.
Okay.
It's not popularity, but best player impact. Sure. Number 1 is Shohei. Number 2,
Juan Soto.
good guess. Aaron Judge. Juan Soto is 3.
Okay.
2, 3
I
for
knew it was gonna be
Judge and
those two.
Soto.
Yep.
Number 4, we go back to the NL.
Back to the NL. Let's see. Tatis, maybe?
No, he's close, but no.
What you got?
Bryce Harper,
Okay.
4. Yordan Alvarez, who did nothing yesterday because the Astros didn't do anything at 5.
Overrated.
Zach Wheeler, pitcher for the Phillies, number 7. Emmanuel Clase. Here's the write-up. Key stat is a 3.92 OPS allowed and a .61 ERA are both the third lowest ever with a minimum of 50 innings pitched. The write-up. Clase is like a supercharged version of Mariano Rivera. Like Rivera, he relies on a cutter, throwing it nearly 80% of the time. Except his average is 99.5 miles per hour. Like Rivera, he's almost impossible to elevate that pitch. He's only allowed 2 home runs all season. And like Mariano Rivera, he hardly ever walks anybody. He only had 9 unintentional walks all season. 9 unintentional walks the entire season. Clase allowed 6 runs in 2024 that weren't extra inning automatic runs. That's stupid bullcrap.
Awful.
And just 1 in the second half of the season. Rivera's superpower in the postseason was his ability to go 2 innings or more. Of Rivera's 96 postseason appearances, 33 of them, I can do that math, 1/3 of them, were more than 1 inning. Clase only pitched more than 1 inning once all season long. He does have a paper-thin rotation. The Guardians will need to rely on him, so getting some 2-inning magic and maybe 2-inning saves from Clase will be needed. 7, though, for Emmanuel Clase. Are you shocked that he's higher than Jose Ramirez?
No, to be honest with you, because
impact.
I think, especially with Cleveland across the front, you think of Andrew Miller from the 2016 run. I think, I know everyone understands the importance of pitching, but I think when you see a Cleveland reliever coming out of the pen like that, thinking he could go 2 innings, 2 1/3 innings, especially with Clase's arm, I think it makes sense that he's that far up there. I'm excited for people across the league to understand who he is and how dominant this guy is. I'm excited for it.
Clase 7. Mookie Betts is 8. And again, this is the list of the most impactful players in postseason baseball. Garrett Cole at 9, which I know injury this year, but he still came back to a sub-3 ERA. Manny Machado.
I hate him so much.
Manny Machado.
I mean, I get it. He's a big moment player.
But so here's the thing. In his postseason career, he only is batting .221. His slashes on base and then slugging. .221, .273, and .442. 10 home runs, 23 RBIs in 41 games. Do you want to know your stat for Manny Machado? He led all of Major Leagues, grinding into 25 double plays this year. How is he 10? How is he 10? Because you want to know who's 11? Jose Ramirez.
Yeah. So that's the thing, too, is Jose Ramirez has really struggled in the playoffs, and I think that's what's really pushing him down.
Postseason career, 42 games, slashing 242, 291, 347. He is a full 20 points ahead of Manny Machado for their postseason career.
He just doesn't have the big
about
moments,
9 less
though.
games.
Right. He just doesn't have the big moments that Manny Machado does.
Well, the problem is, in 32 career games for Jose, 2 home runs. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think that changes this year.
Do you like a home run either Saturday or Monday?
Yeah,
I do.
I
like that.
I love it.
I like it a lot. Here's your key stat for Jose Ramirez. He ranked 98th percentile in all of baseball in strikeout rate. He does not strike out. He is that damn good. Now, the weird thing is, I thought he struck out a little bit more in the second half. But 98th percentile in baseball for striking out. Ramirez is a switch hitter, but the same approach from both sides. He's a dead pull hitter. Only 1 of his 39 home runs were to the opposite field. He has elite contact rate, high launch angle that makes up for a lack of pure power. The postseason numbers aren't great, but nearly half of those games, 15, came in 2016 before he was even fully developed as the player that he is today.
Right. Before he was who we thought he was.
Right. Everybody knew who Jose was back in 2016. Look at him now. Yeah. The Guardians don't have a lot of power outside of Ramirez and Josh Naylor. Nobody else. Dude, how about this? So Naylor and Ramirez both hit 30. Nobody on this team had more than 14.
Yikes.
I think John Kenzie Noel would have been if he, again, the player that you thought he was going to be. So they need Ramirez to have his best October yet. I want to keep going because I want to see if there's another guard. All right, let's do this before we go on. Clase 7, Jose 11. Do you think there's another Guardian on the list? And if so, who do you think it is? Biggest impact for the postseason?
How long is the list?
40. 40. And we're at 11.
Yeah, Naylor will be on there. I think Cade Smith can make it too,
I was going to say, what do you think about another reliever?
Yeah.
Maybe Naylor, maybe Steven Kwan.
See, my thing with Naylor is I'm just too scarred from Mike Napoli just going 0 for 100 in the playoffs. I loved Napoli so much. I think Naylor presses so much sometimes at the plate that he
goes
could
up
get
there
in-
thinking I gotta slap a home run.
And
here.
I think he gets into trouble with that, but I think Naylor will be on the list.
Bobby Witt 12, low. Gunnar Henderson 13. Tariq freaking Scoobles 14. Holy God.
He was unbelievable.
Max Fried is 15, the pitcher for the Braves. Lindor 16. Framber Valdez 17, Jack Flaherty 18, Willie Adames 19, Marcelo Zuna 20, Corbin Burns, Kyle Schwarber, Jose Altuve, Freddie Freeman, Carlos Estevez, Jackson Chourio, Dylan Cease, Sean Manaea, and at 29, Tanner Bybee.
Oh, okay. I could see it. I mean, Tanner has that streak where he can be dominant at times.
I think the thing
He
is,
really does.
who could be the most
be,
impactful?
right.
Bro, we get some starts from Tanner Bybee.
Oh, it's over.
We're cooking, man.
Cooking.
6 innings, 2 or less runs, a quality start. That's what you need. Here's his key stat. This season, he held right-handed batters to just a 190 batting average and a 579 OPS. Right up. Yes, Guardians will rely on their bullpen, but they're going to need some starting quality pitching at some point. That has to be Bybee. The second-year righty throws at 95, but he has a wipeout slider, which is his best pitch, and makes him dangerous against right-handed batters. Can the Guardians make this whole bullpen thing work? Sure. Relievers have thrown 49%. Excuse me. Oh, man, frog in my throat. Hang on.
Just so emotional about it.
I just love Tanner Bybee.
Get some worked up. Just get some worked up.
It's just Tanner Bybee. He makes us right-handed batters, man. It's so beautiful.
Man. So while we got a second here, too, I'm going to throw up another poll. I know it's not a 2 for Tuesday, but I'm going to throw up another poll there.
You do as you please.
Who is more impactful on the Guardians postseason run? Emmanuel Clase, Jose Ramirez. At Matt Fontana Show on Twitter. Make sure you vote on that one.
I don't think I retweeted the first one. Bad host here.
It's a dead heat earlier, but
really?
Yeah.
All right, hang on one
We
second
shall see.
here. Boom, 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 boom. Done and done. Would you be interested in trading away Amari Cooper? I got to vote yes. Dude, we'll get to that update in the morning update. And then the other one here, let me hit refresh on that. Oh, you're setting it up right now. Setting it up right now. All right, we'll get to that in a second. So here's, again, continuing the write-up here on Bybee. Relievers have thrown 49% of all postseason innings over the past 3 years. Braves won the World Series in 2021 with basically 2 bullpen games in the World Series, and the Guardians have the best bullpen in baseball, but Bybee plus a great pen could be a bonus. Finishing out the list, Trey Turner, Luke Weaver, Josh Hader, Michael Kepik, Kyle Tucker, Austin Wells, Fernando Tatis, all the way down there, Cole Reagans, Jackson Merrill, Adley Rutschman, and Riley Green are the top 40. So again, top 40 most impactful players in the postseason. Guardians got 3. Clase, Ramirez, and Tanner Bybee. Solid list. And I think that's all you can ask for. Get geared up and ready to go for Saturday, which is going to be exciting. And Pat, we got to turn today around because I got smoked yesterday. Mostly, actually, I would have gone belly up on everything because I did not see the Mets doing what they did. So we got to do our plays. And I think here's what I want to do later. All right. I'm going to go back, and we're playing $2 parlays here. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big money.
Gambling problem, 1-800 gambler. I like what I did yesterday. I took all 4 games to be over 3.5 runs. 3 out of the 4 hit. The only one that didn't was that 1-0 bull crap. I'm going to ride that again today, but then we got to make our selections for all 4 here. So we'll do that later in the show. We want to do 2. I want to do 2. So we'll get to that coming up in a little bit later. Got more football coming up as well. I want to run through the panic meter from CBS Sports. Our Twitter questions that are up. Boy, do we have to revisit that one about Amari Cooper. We'll do that. Plenty coming up. Fontana Show right here on Big Play. Folks, download the brand new Big Play app. You can see all of our show right there available. All of the shows available on the brand new app. And it's easy. You got a 24-hour stream there. All the interviews are available. Check it out there with Big Play. And I want to mention again, we'll be doing a special pregame show, Jensen Lewis, Lakewood Truck Park on Saturday. So just follow us on Twitter. Follow Jensen on Twitter for all the information. No tickets. Just come on down and see us. We'll be doing a live show from there. We'll do another one on Monday as well. So we're doing pregame there. Monday, Saturday, Lakewood Truck Park. All the information, go over to Big Play on Twitter or bigplay.com. Plenty coming up. Fontana Show, Hour 2. Stay with us.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer-flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like ass. I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink garage beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage beer, beer-flavored beer.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just, that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yap.
Even though our strength of schedule was #1 in the NFL, I think we have the dogs up front. We have the dogs in the back as it relates to our defense. Our defense alone keeps us in these games. Not even talking about offense. Let's just say Deshaun Watson isn't there. We got dogs on the defensive side that's mirroring the potential of the Ravens from 2001 or 2000 Ravens with Jamal Lewis and the boys and Ray Lewis and those guys.
Right.
They won, again, no disrespect to Trent Dilfer, but they won without a high-powered offense.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby as Authentic takes them around the far turn. Tis the Laws making his move now, and they're into the stretch. These two stride for stride. Authentic, tis the Law. Here's the wire. Authentic has won the Kentucky Derby.
All right, welcome back. Fontana Show right here on Big Play, streaming Twitter X. We're also up on YouTube. Oh, I got to send that tweet out. We need freaking, why do they take our videos away? So, like, we have a live stream. I'll retweet it now at MattFontana83. But, like, it goes to a link, and I hate it.
It's the bane of my existence.
I hate it. I hate it. We survive. I mean, I want to say we thrive on Twitter. Oh, I mean, I think we do thrive on Twitter. I think we do just fine on Twitter. And you always get us on YouTube and the app as well, which is really cool. But, yeah, man. So it's back out. Sorry. Schefter. 2 teams high on Davante Adams' wish list of places he wants to go. The Jets. Whoa.
I wonder why.
You want to guess the other one? It's another former teammate quarterback.
It's Tim Boyle. No, I don't know.
Yeah. The Saints. Derek
Saints?
Carr.
Oh, okay.
The 2 teams on his wish list are the Saints and the Jets. Saints would be a fun
Saints would
offense
be
to
really
play
fun.
in there.
Yeah.
Huh.
The only
All
thing
right.
is that would save Dennis Allen's job, don't you think?
I don't know if there's anything to save Dennis Allen's job.
I hope not.
I thought it was a mistake them getting Derek Carr. Now, they got Clint Kubiak, and
Right.
he's worked
He's
his
been
magic there a
unbelievable,
little bit.
Yep.
I still think Dennis Allen's not good, but there's maybe a turn there. So that just came out from Schefter on the 2 teams on his front running list. All right, Pat's got the morning update, stories you got to know, grid, more football. Take it away, Pat.
Well, we'll start actually with some hockey show here on Matt
Nice,
Fontana
little
Show.
puck.
Your Blue Jackets are 4-2,
killing
baby.
it in preseason,
Hey,
man. They're like, I think they're 4-0-1 in the preseason.
Yeah.
Well, that will mean nothing for the regular season. Like, we're probably going to struggle.
Yep.
I do want to bring this up. It's kind of a sobering. You tell your story because I have another thing.
Well, yeah,
about
that's the thing,
about
too, is I was going to bring that up as well as, like, the headlines of Johnny Matthew Gaudreau.
Yeah.
But I think there's going to be a lot of inspired hockey this year. I think it's going to bring more viewership, which I think will be great because, I tune in for the playoffs. I'll tune in here or there for like the stadium series type of games or whatever. But
trying to get my tickets for that.
Trying to get tickets too. I think in Columbus, right? At Ohio Stadium.
Yeah, it's at Ohio Stadium. Yeah.
There's been a lot of events at Ohio Stadium lately, but I think where that brings in is they're going to have a new contract talks, CBA talks with NHL. Gary Bettman. We talk about Rob Manfred doing a terrible job. Gary Bettman's giving him a run for his money.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Yeah. So they're going to have a new CBA. They're planning to open talks at the start of 2025. You look at these hockey contracts sometimes, Matt, and Sidney Crosby was getting 10 years for $90 million.
Right. There's
unbelievable
some of the
stuff.
top paid guys are making there are Connor McDavid's got a big contract, but guys, you're doing well if you make $10 million. That's
Correct.
backup guys in the NFL.
It's pretty unbelievable because where do you see that going? Do you think hockey can get to this upper echelon of, the big four, big three sports? I think soccer is kind of on its way up, but we've been saying that for 15, 20 years. Do you think hockey can actually make it to the level that NBA, MLB, NFL are?
The thing that they got to do is what they're doing. Number one, you have to be driven by your stars. And I'm saying people know who Sidney Crosby is, but you need to push Connor McDavid. You've got to push Austin Matthews. The issue is that a lot of these guys are not American, and that has a little to do with it, that I think. And hockey is just in kind of the toughest spot because they try to start a little earlier than the NBA, but you're going head-to-head with the NBA. It's just tough, and I think it's hard because, again, my interest is my team, and when they aren't good, my interest kind of wanes. You're right. I watch the playoffs, but I will not – here's the difference. If there's a Thursday night basketball game, and it's the Celtics and the Heat, I'm probably watching that game. If it's the Oilers and the Panthers – I probably am not watching. You know what I mean? I'm not a good hockey fan from that standpoint. I just watch the Blue Jackets. I just know who the Blue Jackets are. So they got to get there with certainly their TV contract, marketing their stars. I hope they can get there. I really do. They need to make these things accessible. I think the one thing that kills baseball, the one thing that continues to hurt these sports, I get you have these big media deals. You have got to make your sport as accessible as possible. I know they want the streaming dollars, and you got to pay to sign up for HBO Max or YouTube TV or not even the Apple TV and all that. Get it out there. Let people watch, and then people will get hooked on it as well. The other thing about the Blue Jackets, there was big news yesterday because obviously with the absolutely tragic passing of Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Gaudreau. Do you know that there's a floor in hockey? There's a salary cap floor that you are required to spend this amount of dollars. The Jackets, unfortunately, with Johnny's passing, are now below that floor. Hockey came out, they gave him an extension on the deadline because they would have had to have figured this out by the 7th of October or they would have been fine. And they said, what do you want us to do? Just go sign somebody just for the sake of signing them? So they gave them an extension. They said within reasonable time for them to make a trade or for them to pick the money up that they can to get underneath that floor. So season's around the corner. Jackets, like I said, they're playing really well in the preseason, which is great. I hope it translates to some good hockey in the regular season.
I think so too.
I need it.
Yeah, and it's not funny too because Big Play Zone, Jack O'Rourke, he thinks that NHL should go with a December to August schedule. He brought that up on Twitter the other day. Would be a really interesting time frame. I think November to July would honestly, it would work pretty good because hockey's a winter sport,
That's why
when you start preseason games in October, September, I mean, it's just you don't really get the quality that you're looking for.
Well, the other problem is that you're still, no matter what they're doing there with that idea, what are you doing? You're picking on the weakling of baseball.
Yeah.
You want to stay away from football, which is borderline inevitable.
Yep.
And you want to stay away from basketball, which you can't do, right? What's your thing? Stay away from basketball and football. You get 2 months.
Yeah.
You got June and July, and not even June. You got the finals there. You got July, and then you're off in August. You got to make the best that you can. Hockey, obviously, will have the uphill battle, but hey, man, there, maybe no more teams. You got the Utah team. There's excitement around that. I do think hockey is healthy. I remember when the whole season got lost, and there's still people that said 20 years ago when that season was lost, they're still feeling the ramifications from that. I love my Jackets. I hope they do well this season. Continue on while I plug my laptop in, please.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got
so unprofessional.
No, we're good. We're good.
Everybody great garage beer.
Yeah, check out the garage beer.
Check out the garage beer.
It's beer flavored beer, but so
I'm gonna be slamming some garage beers this weekend.
Yeah,
let me tell you.
absolutely. But get some Lipton Hard Iced Teas as well at Lakewood Truck Park.
They're
But
right down there.
yeah, so WNBA playoffs are well underway. We've got the Aces and the Liberty played, and then the Suns and the Lynx. So the Suns and the Lynx got into some heated. There was pushing, shoving, and then some shouting in the game too. So it's a really it's a really funny. Like you see all these stars and everything, and the Caitlin Clarks of the world, and the Sabrina Ionescu's, and everyone, and they're like, "Oh, this is great! It's so fun! It's good to see women and stuff." And then they're like, "Well, they're going. Like, it's awesome that we're getting women's sports going and everything, but these are competitors." I love that people forget that sometimes, and it's like this is what they're going for. Their finals is in, I think it's in a couple weeks here, but the playoffs going. People forget like. The cool stories and everything is awesome, but these are competitors and they're way in it. I mean, the Liberty beat the Aces 84-88 yesterday. Unbelievable play. It came down to the last 2 minutes. It was, I think there was 9 points scored in the last like minute 10. Just back and forth. It was unbelievable.
Well,
but,
and it's interesting because they're kind of taking the test. Like, you got legit rivalries, and obviously now there's like a lot of heat there, and that's a way to get people going. That's a way to get the people going on the NBA. It's been, again, can anybody beat the Aces, though? I just don't know. I mean, again, it was a great game. But I think overall, you still got to be feeling good about them, right? We'll see.
Yeah, I think so. And then I guess just the last one for us is we got some playoff baseball going, and I thought there was a pretty much shocker yesterday when the Tigers beat the Astros 3-1. What did you think in that 9th inning? Bases are loaded.
I know.
Did you like the bunt decision, by the way, by the Astros? With nobody out, there was runners on first and second, so they bunted the runners over to second and third.
Yeah.
But it kind of came back to bite them because they only scored 1 run in the 9th. I know it was dicey there for a second, but
I mean, what they were going with was you weren't hitting. Now, the problem with that is what? You weren't hitting against Tariq School, you wasn't in the game anymore.
Right.
Like, that's where I think you just got to rely on your bats. I think the biggest thing watching that game yesterday was, Alvarez had 2 hits. Okay, it wasn't so much him. But I thought it was Kyle Tucker that really kind of let them down a little bit because he went hitless in that one. But you would sit there and you say, what? They cranked out 7 hits. Alvarez 2, Bregman, which that one should have been a home run. I don't know how it didn't get out, but it didn't. I mean, that's it. But again, it was like Scoop will shut you down, play the game, play it out. But I get it because I want to butt him because 1 hit ties the game, as opposed to 1 hit scoring maybe 1 run. 1 hit ties that game because you're going to send him from second no matter what.
I don't know if it's a hit to left field. I mean,
well, the thing is,
it's a 90-foot.
You talk about, who's Astros' new manager?
Well, it's not AJ Hinch.
Oh, because he's there. He's over in Detroit.
That was wild to see.
Because they brought it up that Joe Espada, right?
Yeah.
And he's one of like Steven Vogt. Like, they have 5 different first-year managers that are in the playoffs this year, which is crazy.
Incredible.
Is that something that he felt the squeeze of the playoffs? And it's different in how you approach it. That's something we got to keep our eye on about Steven Vogt. He's had a fantastic year. He spoke about it yesterday at availability. He said it's different than when I was a player. As a player, he said this. He goes, I was just excited to play. You don't think about anything else. He goes, a manager's different. You can't do that. You got to go into this and think about everything because you're the manager. It's a little different. I'm not nervous about that. I'm not nervous about it at all, but it's something to keep an eye on. This is the first go-around here for Steven Vogt. And again, whether it is the Tigers, which it might be, and then you're facing a guy like AJ Hinch who's been there, done that, there's something to be said about that. We'll watch. I will tell you this, man, as much as I'm bitching about the Indians or Guardians schedule, which I don't like, I do like being able to get home, watch baseball at 2 o'clock.
Oh, it's the best.
It is nice to sit down.
It kind of
and
reminds me
watch
of the
it.
Olympics a little bit as well. Because it's like, did you see that tweet where it's like, oh, it's 9:45 and I'm sitting at work. Why am I not watching water polo right now?
Right, exactly.
Like,
yeah,
that's what
you're
it kind of
just-
feels like.
You just sit there and you're so excited to just sit down and watch. And we'll place our way. How'd you do yesterday on your picks?
To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Okay.
But I was expecting the Tigers to win.
Okay, so I need,
took
that's
the
what I'm
Tigers.
asking. I need you because you got to center me here.
Yeah.
Got to center me, Pat. I'm off. I'm tilted.
Mhm.
I'm
Off kilter.
bothered. Okay, on how yesterday went.
Mhm.
Got to rally this around for $4. for $4. For $4. Now,
Oh, man.
okay, we just need to say. I will explain to you later where I'm at.
Just got to see one go
We
in.
just got to see one go in. That's all I'm asking for.
Yep.
So we'll get to that coming up.
Shoot or shoot, baby.
That's what we got to do. All right, back over to football quick before we get to the grid. Wanted to update our Twitter question, please, Pat, at Matt Fontana Show. First up, are you entertaining the trading of Amari Cooper? This is the one I'm a little shocked to see the results. What do we got so far?
Yeah, so would you be interested? Amari Cooper, yes, 78.2%. 21.8% saying no. That's out of 188 votes.
70-30 of people sitting there saying that they're going to start entertaining that. At this point, you have no choice. At this point, you got to do it. Now, I go over to CBS Sports, and Tyler Sullivan, panic meter entering week 5, okay? Now, I'm going to run through this, and then we'll get to it. Okay, number 1, panic level, everything's okay. The Packers and the 49ers. Would you agree with both those teams? Panic level, everything is going to be okay. 49ers, Packers.
I think so.
49ers, yes.
Really?
Packers, I don't know.
I think there's a lot more. I think there's a lot more wrong with the Niners than people are leading on. I think Brandon Ayuk has been just trash since his new contract. And I think Christian McCaffrey's injury may be more serious than people think. I mean, Achilles injuries.
Now it's bilateral. It's both of them.
Man. Yeah, like how does that? I was watching fantasy football yesterday. Is it contagious? Like are Achilles?
Can it jump from one to the other?
How does that happen? Yeah. But I don't know. The Niners, they've had a lot of injuries. Fred Warner's also hurt now as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So that's gonna be tough. I honestly am more worried about the Niners than people think.
John Hargrave out for the year. What did he tear? Pec? Tore something. Tricep. Anyway, he's out. The Packers, I think now that you got Jordan Love back in the flow, you'll find your way. The problem is you got a hole dug in the NFC North, so you might have to just be a wild card team. Next up, zero margin for error. So this is a panic meter of we're all right, but we cannot screw up anymore. The Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Jets, they are all 2-2 on the zero margin for error level. Now, would you agree with that? Zero margin for error. These teams can still make the playoffs. Jets, Eagles, Cowboys. Probably, right?
Yeah, I'm there with it. It's. I mean, the Eagles. I don't even see them making the playoffs at this point.
Yeah.
I know there's the wild card and it's expanded, that type of thing, but they don't look like a playoff team, I guess, is more of my point. The Cowboys, I think, will be fine. I think once Dak and CeeDee get back into their, the rhythm, I think they'll be fine. But there's some worrisome teams out there, man. Like I don't love the way that they're playing right now.
Panic level, cue up Kenny Loggins, danger zone. These teams are in trouble. You ready? The Bengals. Yes or no?
Actually, I'm not really that worried about them.
I'm the same way as you.
Yeah.
I don't think they're that bad. The LA Rams. Yeah, they're in some trouble. They're in some bad trouble.
Sure.
The Miami Dolphins. Bad. They're in some trouble.
Yep.
The Jacksonville Jaguars. Bad. They're in some trouble.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Browns weren't even on the list. Wow. We are so bad that we didn't even make the panic meter list. And do you want to know why? Tyler titled this Panic Meter for Contenders.
Oh, geez. Well,
we're in trouble. We're beyond the danger zone
curtains.
Now.
That's curtains. I'll see you.
Have a good season, everyone.
Yeah.
We'll see you next year. We're
close
curtains.
The door
Tyler
on your way
Sullivan
out.
has buried us. But it's like, okay, I brought it up because they weren't on the list, okay? And I wanted to see, like, our panic meter, again, is buried. That's why I'm burying the needle. It is all the way folded over to 1,000, right? But I look at it, the Bengals, the Dolphins, and Jacksonville. Are we not in that same, like, conversation, right? And I guess you would look at Cincinnati, here's the thing. You got to separate expectations. Sure, Cincinnati had much higher expectations. Miami had much higher expectations. And what has led to those teams getting there are very different. Tua got hurt. Cincinnati's just not good. But aren't we in that conversation? And I guess it's like, here's the thing. I'm searching for comfort in the fact that we're in the danger zone of the panic meter. You know what I'm saying? Like, how crazy is that? That I'm searching for comfort just because I want to be included. Just because I want to be on a list here of teams that are in the crap, Because they don't even consider us being a part of it right now. I just want to be included. What's your panic level? What's your panic level right now? Because again, Tyler Sullivan didn't even put us in the danger zone. He said we're not even. We're not even. I don't know what would be higher. I have no idea what would be even higher.
I would say a 10 because that's just who we are as Browns fans. But then you look at the Jaguars and they're 0-4, are they not?
Jags are, yeah.
Yeah, Jags are 0-4, so they have to be a 10. So if you put it that way, I think the Browns for me are like a 7.8.
Yeah. I mean, that's where, again, I look at it this Sunday and believe that's it. That's where Sunday, the panic meter is already up, which, again, can rally guys. Like, you would go into this game as these guys being as smart as they are, no, this is a must-win game. This is a must-win game to try to keep this season on track, to try to get Deshaun Watson back to some semblance of play. And that's not another lost thing on me either. There is wins within this season if Deshaun Watson plays well or if you get at least an answer on him. And again, I want to win games. I want to do what we need to do. But still, there's a lot to still play for. There's still a ton that this team has to play for. But it starts Sunday. It starts Sunday of trying to keep this all together for this squad. And what you might do with the Amari Cooper trade, what happen, I don't know. But Sunday is vital. And that's where the panic meter better be at a 10, better be at whatever it might be. All right, Pat, panic meter for the Immaculate Grid, not necessarily up to a 10 because it's all practice this week, but we still take it very serious. Let's get to it. Absolutely. It is the Immaculate Grid. So you know how it works. We got the grid. Up and down left. Oh, big jitter. Did you see that?
What's that?
On that screen, like we're pixelating.
Oh, yeah.
Are we good?
Not seeing anything.
We're fine.
Here.
No, don't worry about it. All right, here we go. Let's get to the grid. As you know, 9 minutes. We got to run through all of the grid to get it done. Need to reshape it there?
Yeah, here we go.
Take your time.
Yeah.
Take your time.
There we go.
Well, yes. Move me over a
Reshape
little.
him, eh?
Huh?
Reshape Matthew.
How'd I get that messed up?
I don't know, man. OBS. Here we are.
All right, well, let's just say you still got to move over the grid because I can't see
yeah.
the other side. Hang on. Pat's working on it.
We got it.
We're working hard.
But we got Bengals Saints 10,000 across the top here.
Oh no, you do have it up. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. You were right. I'm looking for the other side. Like I'm some idiot. All right, go. 9 minutes. Go. All right, 10,000 career passing yards. Eli Manning.
Okay.
Got Troy Aikman, Dak Prescott, whoever you want. Oh, 10,000. Yeah, we'll just let's start the 10,000.
Let's go Aikman.
Aikman. And it's got to be Josh Allen, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be.
A couple of Allens.
There's a lot, yeah. No, not that one, the other one.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay.
Nice, all right, nice. Let's open things up here a little bit. So, Saints Cowboys, is that not Brandon Cooks?
That should work, yep.
Yep, okay. So we'll get to that one.
Okay.
Brandon Cooks. Okay. Saints Bills. There's something screaming to me wide receiver there too.
Yeah, like Willie Snead or somebody.
Something like that, but yeah. I don't know. We can hold off on that one. All right. Broncos Giants. There's also something there that's kind of nagging on me. All right, Broncos going down the list. Quarterbacks. Tim Tebow, no.
Right. Jets would have.
Brock Osweiler, no. Ted Bridgewater, right? He played in Denver.
I think so.
That's what I would say. Right there, right?
Yeah. Wait, which one?
The Cowboys Broncos. That should be Ted Bridgewater, right? Did he play in? Yeah, for like just a short time.
Okay.
A short time.
Okay.
Now, the thing is, did he get into a game, though? I think he did. Hold off on that.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So he's there as an option. Ryan Fitzpatrick, obviously played in Buffalo, but I don't remember him in New Orleans or Denver.
Me either.
I don't think he works there. Old friend Colt McCoy played in New York for the Giants, but again, I don't think played for the Saints or the Broncos.
Right. Giants, Saints, I'm thinking like defensive line.
I almost want to say Gerald McCoy there for some reason, because didn't he go to the Saints? Then, not Ndamukong Suh.
Right.
Who was the other D tackle? Yeah, Gerald McCoy. We wanted him to come here really bad, and then he didn't, right?
Right. I remember that.
But that was like Carolina and Tampa Bay. I don't think that works there. I don't know why. I don't think that works there.
Yeah.
Saints, Bills.
Let's see.
Okay. All right, we just need to focus. I want to focus it on the Saints here.
Need to see one go through.
We just need to see, again, Brandon Cooks, we aced that. It was nice and easy.
Let's see here.
Cowboys. Oh, wait. Is that not DeMarcus Ware? Yeah, Cowboys, Broncos,
Yeah.
DeMarcus Ware. DeMarcus Ware. Okay. DeMarcus Ware, done.
Nice.
Okay.
In the Broncos jersey right there.
In the Broncos jersey. All right, Broncos, Giants. Man, of all the quarterbacks that they all had to run through.
Yeah, I'm getting like Eric Decker, Victor Cruz era.
Eric Decker, I don't think ever went to the Giants. I like where your head's at, though.
Decker played for the Broncos, I think.
Oh, no, he did 100%.
Yeah.
He 100% did.
Yeah. That
Brandon
era.
Stokely?
Stokely sounds right.
But did he
Not gonna
play?
pull it just yet.
I don't think he played in the Giants, though. What about Cole Beasley? I know he played in Buffalo. Did he not play in New Orleans? Did Cole Beasley?
I don't think he played in New Orleans.
No?
I
Okay.
don't think so.
Okay. All right, tight ends. Broncos. Julius Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Shannon Sharp. I don't think so. No, wait. Did he? No, he didn't go to Buffalo. No, I don't think so. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think so. I got a deep cut. Nick Van Ette.
Nick Van Ette.
Yeah, remember the Ohio State guy? I know he played in Denver, and maybe he went to New York. I have no idea. I don't think that's good enough for one to rip. Matt Breida played in New York, but I don't think he played at either one of those other spots.
Right.
Trying
to think of running backs.
Again,
Yeah, like Ahmad Bradshaw, Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. Philip Lindsay. I don't think.
Yeah.
But did he go to New York or Buffalo? I don't think so. Oh, man. Marshawn Lynch never played in Denver or the Saints. Right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Right? No. Honey Badger didn't play at either one of those other spots, New York and the Bills.
Right.
We have Ted Bridgewater.
We do have Bridgewater.
And I know Bridgewater played for the Broncos.
Yeah.
Did he play for Buffalo?
Would Tyrod Taylor work?
Tyrod Taylor was there. Does Tyrod Taylor not work for the Saints and the Bills?
Saints.
He does. Saints, Bills, Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor. What? No! What do you mean?
Pain.
What do you mean? What? Huh?
If you morph them into one, they would have worked.
How? Wait a minute.
Tyrod Taylor.
Can I not picture Tyrod Taylor in a Saints uniform?
Right. He's in a Jets uniform. Bills.
Ravens, Bills, Browns, Chargers, Texans, Giants, Jets.
Jeez.
Huh.
That's crazy.
That is a little crazy. All right. Well, Teddy Bridgewater.
Right.
Saints. No, he never played for the Bills. Wow. Bridgewater went Vikings, Saints, Panthers, Broncos. Which we don't need that one. Dolphins, Lions.
Yeah.
He never played in Dallas.
Really?
He never played in Dallas.
How
I
was
kept
that?
saying I thought about him in Dallas, and that was not him. Man, that's a tough one for us. All right, anything? I mean,
Tough L.
I'd say just give up.
Yeah.
Man, that's a tough one for us.
Give up here.
All right, hit the give up. Roll on down. Yeah, that's a bad day for
Man.
us. Go down a little more to most popular.
Most popular.
Brandon Marshall. Oh, Jeremy Shockey.
Von
Cooks, we
Miller.
got Reggie Bush.
Wow.
Huh. Oh, Von Miller, we're dumbasses.
Jim Kelly. Okay. Interesting.
Oh, yeah, for 10,000 group passing yards.
Yeah.
That one works out, too.
A
Von
little
Miller.
tease as well. I've got a little interesting time hop for you, Tony Romo.
All right,
Once
good. Well, I'll tell you
once
what.
we come up there.
Let's do it. Let's take our break. We come back. Time hop. We'll get to go for our baseball today. We'll update our Twitter questions. We got to hit one here. We got to hit one coming up for today. So we got a couple
Need to see it go
parlays.
through.
We'll get them lined up for you and ready to go. Stay with us. Fontana Show right here on Big Play.
Bobby Carpenter.
Garage beer. Beer flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like ass. I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink garage beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage beer. Beer flavored beer.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just, that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yap.
even though our strength of schedule is number 1 in the NFL, I think we have the dogs up front. We have the dogs in the back as it relates to our defense. Our defense alone keeps us in these games. Not even talking about offense. Let's just say Deshaun Watson isn't there. We got dogs on the defensive side that's mirroring the potential of the Ravens from 2001 or 2000 Ravens with Jamal Lewis and the boys and Ray Lewis and those guys.
Right.
They won. Again, no disrespect to Trent Dilfer, but they won without a high-powered offense.
Bengals off.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby as Authentic takes them around the far turn. 'Tis the Laws making his move now, and they're into the stretch. These two stride for stride. Authentic, 'tis the Law. Here's the wire. Authentic has won the Kentucky Derby.
All right, let's get to it. A little bit of time up before we get to our wagers on baseball today and get geared up for that. Let's head on back, though, here on the 2nd of October. What do we got, including 2 years ago today? Browns falling a tight one to the Falcons, 23-20. I remember this game because the Browns, I thought, just played horrible. And I think I sent a tweet that I was like, the Falcons did nothing to win that game. Marcus Mariota had 139 yards passing and an interception. The 2 touchdowns they scored was a Caleb Huntley rushing touchdown and Cordell Patterson. Nick Chubb had a rushing touchdown, 118 yards. Jacoby Brissett, 234 and an interception. David Njoku, Donovan Peoples-Jones, your leading receiver on that. Here's the crazy thing about Atlanta. They won a game with none of their receivers having more than 2 receptions because Marcus Mariota was just 7 out of 19 in that game. That was it. Lost a fumble for the Browns. An ugly game. Younghoe Koo had 3 field goals. Cade York had 2. There you go. That's the Browns game this day, 2022. We lost to the Falcons. This day, 2016, Vin Scully called his final Dodgers game.
Legend.
I mean, that's, baseball gets wrapped up in that because there's like a lot of guys that'll do it for years. And I know, hey, shout out Tom Hamilton.
Yeah.
Finalist for the Frick Award again.
I think that's his 4th time.
4th time as a top 10 finalist for that. And, you get that job, you don't give it up. But
80-something years?
Was it 80-some years?
He started when he was like 20. Whatever.
Was that? Hang on. Vin Scully.
But while we're here,
it had to have been 60. It had to have been 60 some
60
years
some
or whatever.
years,
But okay, yeah.
While we're here, too, we want to send well wishes to Jim Donovan as well.
Yes.
Hopefully he's doing, better. We're sending him well wishes. We have an embarrassment of riches in terms of broadcasters here.
Oh, absolutely.
Fred McLeod, Jim Donovan, Tom Hamilton. Can't take those guys for granted.
No, 67 years. Vin
Unbelievable.
Scully was the play-by-play guy for the Dodgers. He started in 1950 and ended in 2016. And according to his Wikipedia, some consider him to be the greatest broadcaster of all time. I mean, he's up there, but we're not Dodgers fans.
Yeah.
That's
an LA take.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of maybe Al Michaels.
Yeah.
He's lost his fastball now, so it's a little bit different. Certainly, I mean, John Madden, Pat Summerall. I mean, that's the combo for me.
For sure.
But yeah, the greatest sports broadcaster of all time. That's a tough list.
Yeah. Tom Hamilton's up there. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh, no, sure. Write that down for our bracket next week.
Yeah.
I like that as our bracket of the greatest of all time. It's going to be hard to not, like Hammy, all that. But, like, it's got to be Vince Scully. Here, on a quick Google. Greatest sports broadcaster of all time. This list is America's Sportscasters Association. Vince Scully, Mel Allen, Jim McKay, Al Michaels, Dick Enberg, Jack Buck are their list. Stadium Talk, Ranker. See, now they put broadcasters in here of like, they put Scott Van Pelt on this one list. And it's like, he's not a play-by-play guy.
Yeah.
You know.
I know he does the golf and hosting and stuff like that, but
right, but like
that's not really his game.
Not a play-by-play person.
Correct.
Stadium Talk. Oh God, it's got Gus Johnson on that list.
Nah.
I can't stand Gus.
I can't stand Gus. Can't do it.
He jumped the shark for me.
Correct.
Harry Carey, Frank Gifford.
See, that's the thing though. Is like if we're going Homer, Harry Carey is also a Homer submission there.
Well, yeah, that's Chicago. That's
so if people want to come at us for Tom Hamilton, like. I mean, so here's the thing: is like this has to be an outdated list because Mike Breen is top 5.
Well, I'm just struggling through scrolling through because
you know
Stadium
what I mean,
Talk
though.
is like making me
ads and such.
Like
but,
no, it's not even that. Like I scroll down, then it populates, and then I scroll down, then it populates again.
But thinking about that
get
too,
number one.
some of the names: Mike Breen, Mike Tirico. I think Tirico is very slept on, especially with those Sunday night games.
Oh, for sure.
Trying to carry Chris Collinsworth through a broadcast.
I like Chris Collinsworth. Don't crap on my guy, Chris Collinsworth. What do you mean?
Here's a guy.
No, I like Chris Collinsworth. I don't know if he's quite on the list of the greatest of all time, but do not crap on my guy, Chris Collinsworth. I will not deal with that. I'm not going to have that. Also, this day, 2016, remember when Kim Kardashian got robbed? $10 million worth of jewelry in France. It happened this day, 2016. She was like, they came up to her with guns and like her entourage and all that. They stood there and they took $10 million of jewelry.
That's unbelievable.
Now, they probably made more money off that because then it was a whole thing on the TV show. And it was a whole season on the TV show that she got robbed.
Conspiracy theories.
I like it.
Yep.
I'm all for it. My wife watches or used to watch that show. Now it's off the air.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, how does that happen?
Yeah.
First, if you're going to go out of your house wearing $10 million worth of jewelry, how do you not have security and entourage? I guess she did, but they just came up to her and they pulled a gun and they took it all off her. I guess it is what it is. All right, we go back this way back in the day. This day, 1954, the New York Giants swept the Cleveland Indians right out of the World Series. The thing about that was the Indians were a giant favorite. We finished with a 111-43 regular season, went to the World Series, and got swept by the Giants. This day, 1954. This day, 1920, maybe we should bring this back. The Reds and the Pirates play the only recorded triple header in baseball history. Since he won the first 2 games, Pittsburgh won the nightcap. What if you did 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock?
Hey, man, I'm free
now
on
that
Sunday.
they're speeding these games up, you're not playing 3-hour games. Could you imagine the pitching staffs? They'd be like, hell no.
Do you think Tungsten Armo Doyle was like, put a runner on second base to speed the game up?
You know what? You know, these guys pitching both legs of doubleheaders, 16 innings a game or 16 innings a day.
Inning 25 of the triple header.
Yeah, go ahead. Put a second runner out there. Yeah, figure it out.
That's
fine. That's fine. That's fine. Triple headers. Bring him on back. This day, 1908, Addie Joss throws a perfect game for the Cleveland Naps, beat the White Sox 1-0. This day, 1908. This day, 1789, the Bill of Rights were sent to the states for ratification. Probably important. Happy birthday goes out to Steve Sable, NFL Films, Mark Rippon, Phil Kessel, Gandhi, Sting, the singer, not the wrestler. And speaking of singers, Don McLean, a little American Pie there for you, celebrating a birthday. All right, I got a lot for you on movies. All right, you ready?
Wait, let me hop in here with one of my.
Oh, yeah, where's your Tony Romo one? Yeah, I need your Tony Romo one.
This is so funny. You'll actually see this later on the Big Play Network, the Bobby Carpenter show.
Okay.
So this day in 2011, very unremarkable football game, but the Detroit Lions came back to beat the Dallas Cowboys 34-30 to stay 4-0, by the way. So the Detroit Lions 4-0 in Dallas. What started that comeback? Bobby Carpenter pick 6 on Tony Romo. The backstory there, though, the crazy part, Bobby Carpenter was a groomsman in Tony Romo's wedding.
Oh.
Picked him off, pick 6.
There you go.
3 interceptions in that game.
Romo.
Bring back Calvin Johnson, 8 for 89 and a touchdown. What an unbelievable comeback. It was the hard part is like Carpenter gets the pick six. He fumbles it over the goal line, but he made it. On review, he made it, but he couldn't even celebrate. They were down 30-4 to whatever at that time. But big pick six. You'll see that on the Bobby Carpenter
I
show.
like it. Bobby Carpenter every day.
I appreciate that one, Matt.
I like that. Write that down for 2011. Love it very much. All right, movies, TV shows. Here we go. We're going to start a movie this day, 2015. This is based off of a book, extraterrestrial type of book here, with Matt Damon.
I think I got this.
You got this
Interstellar?
one? No, that was Matthew McConaughey.
The Martian?
The Martian is correct. All right. Well, I've never seen it. I know the gifs. I've seen it. The Martian. This day, 2015. All right. Next up, another film. This day, 2009. A bit of an ensemble cast here. I don't want to give the cast away. Yeah. Not Cast Away.
Tom Hanks.
No, not that. Let's see here. All right. Carnage and Lex Luthor.
Oh, geez.
Star in this. So both those actors played those specific roles, in addition to an actress from La La Land.
Oh, geez.
And an actress from, I think, Signs.
Man, so not Emma Stone.
Well, it is Emma Stone.
Is it Emma Stone?
Emma Stone was in La La Land, so she's one.
Right.
Oh, Little Miss Sunshine. And Signs. I was right. So again, the actor that played Carnage.
Okay. I don't think I even know who that is.
The actor who played Lex Luthor with the actress from La La Land and the actress from Signs and Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh, man. Little Miss Sunshine. It's a great movie.
Great movie.
Wow. I don't
know. Okay. Okay. This is a specific, again, a specific type of film, I guess, is not really helping you here a little bit. I don't want to just kind of give it away. This is 2 months. This film takes place 2 months after a strain of mad cow disease runs through the nation and turns people into what?
Dude, I have no idea. I think
Zombieland. You ever seen So again, Woody Harrelson, Carnage.
Oh, I have seen this movie.
Jesse Eisenberg played Lex Luthor. Emma Stone and Abigail Breslin was the one you were thinking of.
I saw the movies in theaters.
Well, that one, they did that weird remake. I didn't see it. The first Zombieland's fine. I think the first Zombieland holds up pretty well, but it is Zombieland this day, 2009. All right, to a television show. This is a medical show that came out this day, 2001, but it's not a drama medical show. This was meant to be a sitcom, satirical medical show. Scrubs is correct. Isn't Zach Braff kind of an a-hole? Is that not a thing?
I don't know, but their commercials are getting real old.
Oh, I know. Those T-Mobile ones, I'm done. I'm done. God. And I rip Donald Faison because I just go back to Remember the Titans with him. Sure. I loved it.
Sure.
But I don't know why. Those lists, and I have no idea if these are true or not. They're like, 10 celebrities people hate working with, or 10 celebrities you didn't really know were jagoffs. I think Zach Braff is always on that list. I've never watched Scrubs. John C. McGinley is on that show, is he not?
I believe so.
He's a really underrated actor. But yeah, I can't say I've ever watched Scrubs.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
heavily popular though, right? People love them some Scrubs,
but
right?
It's one of those shows that it's still sort of like kind of like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where it's like the people who love it will die for it.
It's a cult.
Yeah,
it becomes a cult.
Exactly.
Office, Parks and Rec.
Oh,
I think it's like any of those.
But luckily, people haven't made that their whole personalities now, like with The Office and Friends.
Yeah,
I think
that is a big battle. That is certainly a big battle. All right. Film this day, 1992. This is an American sports film surrounding the game of hockey.
Miracle?
No. 92.
Spawned
2 sequels. This is a true trilogy. They only made 3 of these movies. This is one of the rare movies that I think the second one is actually better than the first one.
Oh, man.
Third one's trash.
A true trilogy.
3 hockey movies surrounding younger kids.
Is it a comedy? No, Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks are correct.
Mighty Ducks.
D2 is better than the first one.
Okay.
Fight me on that. The D2, they go to the Goodwill Games. That one's better than the first one. First one's fine. The Hawks and, whatever. But I like the second one better than the first one.
Hot take.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that really a hot take?
I don't know.
Is that really a hot take? Can you think of a movie that the sequel is better than the original? Some people say The Godfather. They're wrong.
Yeah.
The original Godfather is a masterpiece.
Okay. Well, I think my first thought was actually like Lord of the Rings, but that's just that's the development of the story. So I guess you can't really.
Yeah,
say
I guess.
that,
Yeah, right. Dark
Two
Knight.
Towers is great.
Dark Knight is 10 times better than Batman Begins
that's
because
kind of how it's
just
designed
you
to be.
set the story up to get you to the Dark Knight, so you're there. All right, back to the TV side of things. A television show that debuted this day, 1959. Now, do not worry, you might be able to get this one. This was a television series. Each episode, this was an anthology where each episode was self-contained in itself and each one was its own story, frequently concluding every episode with an unexpected twist.
Interesting. My first thought was the Twilight Zone.
That is correct.
Wow.
Twilight Zone is correct.
Shout out, Dad.
Fantasy. What a theme.
What
a theme for the Twilight Zone. One of the best. Okay, I'll tell you what, Pat. Do you want me to even give you this last one? Because I don't think there's any way
Let's give it a go.
that you have a chance in God's green earth to get this done.
Oh, you're grand. Let's
But
try
I
it.
don't want to sell you short. So I will try this, okay? And I'm just going to read this straight from Wikipedia because I don't even really know this movie.
Sure.
This is a 1957 epic war film directed by David Lean based on a novel from 1952. The novel and the screenplay are almost entirely fictional, but use the construction of the Burma Railway as their historical setting for this epic war film. This movie is now widely recognized as one of the greatest films ever made.
Jeez.
It won 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. In 1997, it was added to the Library of Congress as being, historically, culturally, aesthetically significant. And the American Film Institute included it on its list as one of the greatest films ever made.
My first thought was All Quiet on the Western Front.
That is, I like where your head's at, but no.
But no. I don't know when that movie came out.
That's you're in the. I think you're right.
Ballpark?
Right, you're right in the ballpark here. Again, one I don't think I would have ever gotten this. It's a really hard one, but when I say it, I guarantee you probably heard of this.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
The Bridge on the River Kwai.
Mm-hmm.
The Bridge on the River Kwai. Alec Guinness is in that. William Holden. I think I watched that in a film class at some
Probably,
point.
right?
Had to have, right? How important that was. 7 Academy Awards. 7.
Whew.
Hang on. Let me see if I can. Oh, wait. The 30th Academy Awards.
Black and white movie, probably, right?
I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think so. It'd probably be easier if I just clicked on this. It won. Critical response. I was trying to see what all the 7 that it won. Here you go. Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor for Alec Guinness, Best Screenplay, Cinematography, Film Editing, and Original Score. Also, there was a nomination for Best Supporting Actor that they didn't win. So they went 7 out of 8 for the Academy Awards in 1957 for The Bridge on the River Kwai. That's where we sit. Where we sit right now, Pat. Let's go baseball. We got to get this now. Come on.
We need it, man.
We need something.
Need it in the worst way.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. Let's run through our pitching matchups for today because I feel like I failed in understanding what was going to happen yesterday.
Well, Corbin Burns did you dirty.
Corbin Burns did me dirty. All right.
Did you see him sitting over the railing on the thing, putting his head down? Brutal.
All right, so here's what I'm going to do again. I placed a parlay yesterday. I'm going to do it again today. Every single game over 3.5 runs. So all they got to do is score 4 runs in these games. Okay? So that's minus 1,100 for the first game. See what I'm saying? Like if I take all 4 at like minus 1,000 and I do it, total over Mets, Brewers. That one had no problem yesterday covering that. Can I aggregate those scores? Can I aggregate those? Could you imagine? All right, real quick on this. Yesterday it was a 1-0 game, right? Do you know under 1.5 runs is plus 1,700? Could you imagine if you would cash that? Can you imagine if you would cash that in the game yesterday?
A 1-0 baseball game.
A 1-0 baseball
Playing
game.
soccer out
Call
here.
that. Right, exactly. Exactly. Good call. All right, if I do all 4 games over 3.5 runs, it gets me to minus 200. Should I even bother? $10 wins me 5.
So for how many? For all 4 games?
All 4 games have to score at least 4 runs.
What's the number if you go 5 runs? So over 4.5
For all games?
for all 4.
Are you feeling it?
I don't know.
Or is there a game that you're feeling they're going to score 5?
Honestly, the one that I would look
All right,
at.
here's your pitching matchups. Okay, let's do this first. Tyler Holton goes for the Tigers versus, I think, Hunter Brown. Yeah, Hunter Brown. Then you got Lugo and Eflin in game 2 of the Orioles and the Royals.
Right.
Sean Manaea goes for the Mets against Frankie Montas, who was 7-11 with a 4.8 ERA. Maybe I don't like the Brewers in this game. I don't know. Then Max Fried goes for Atlanta against Joe Musgrove in the nightcap. So your best pitching matchup is Lugo and Eflin. How about this? Do you think the Braves and Padres are going to score again?
Fried? I mean, Fried has been fine. He came back from injury earlier in the year, but I don't know. I think that Braves lineup is still pretty potent despite all the injuries. I could see it.
Okay, so you like 5 there?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do this. So I'm going to take over 4.5 there.
Right.
Okay, it's minus 380 on its own. Mets Brewers, who did explode yesterday.
Yeah, that was what, 12 in that game?
Yeah. Manaea had a 3.7 ERA. And then, as I mentioned, Montas did not have a great one. He came over from Cincinnati.
Yeah, he can be bumpy.
Do you kind of like the 5 there?
I like the number.
You like the 5. Over 5.
Yep.
Okay? So just those 2, I'm already at 223. Royals, Orioles, Eflin, Lugo, I might just take over. Just score me 4.
Yeah. I like 4 too because if you look Lucas Erceg for the Royals, he's going to pitch again. He's going to have an Andrew Miller type of postseason where he's going to be throwing, 2 innings per game, it seems like, because his arm will not fall off.
All right. So then if I go to Detroit and Houston, Hunter Brown, Tyler Holton, if I take over 4.5, that gets me to minus 115. Over 3.5 is 134. Do you think they score 4 or 5 runs in this game today? I'm going to go 5. That Astros lineup's got to wake up.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, that gets me to even money. Minus 115, 10 wins me 9.
Yeah.
You like it?
I like
Done.
it.
All right, now let's do our parlays.
Need it.
I was locked and ready to say that there's no way the Brewers are going to lose this game today.
Yeah.
And then I got worried about Montas on the hill. Do you think the Mets sweep it out? All right, let's start game 1. Pick your winner game 1. Tigers, Astros. Tyler Holton, Hunter Brown.
Still, so
I like Houston.
I like Houston as well.
I like Houston minus 1.5.
I think so.
I think they're going to win that. All right, minus 1.5.
I would love it if the Tigers win.
Right.
However,
well, I'd like this go. You know what?
I just want to see them
wanting to
beat
go
Houston.
3 games to help us out. Let's do that.
Yep.
All right, next up, Royals, Orioles. Lugo, Eflin. What did Seth Lugo do this year versus Baltimore?
Yeah.
My
Baltimore
question.
got blanked yesterday. It's one thing to, hit the ball hard and not get any runs across. They looked lost at the plate.
So in one start against Baltimore this season, Seth Lugo took the loss going 5 1/3 and giving up 4 earned runs, including 2 home runs. But I think that was really early in the season. Versus Eflin, who, let me get his start against the Royals. Eflin versus Kansas City this year, 1 start, took the win, but gave up 6 runs, 5 of them earned in 5 innings worth of work. I should have taken higher on the over. Wait a minute.
Cash it out, rebet it.
Sometimes
I'm
they take a cut.
I know,
though.
right?
Oh, no, they can't. I can't. You want me to cash it out? I only took over 3.5. Should I take? That would put me at 5 runs for all the games. I need 5 runs for all the games. You like that?
Yeah. I
All
mean,
right, I'm going to rebet that later. Then.
I like it.
I'll cash that out. All right. We like the Astros. We got to pick one here.
Well, I don't like the Astros.
Well,
but we'll
right. I
have to
hate the
take 'em.
freaking Astros. We'll take them to win. All right. Royals, Orioles. Just pick me a winner here. Is it the Orioles?
I think it's the Orioles.
Did you like a minus 1.5? Just 155. Let's not mess with the 155. Okay.
Yep.
Mets, Brewers.
It's a weird one.
I kind of like the Mets.
Yeah. I mean, they've been playing well since.
I think they're on a little heater here.
I think so too. It's kind of like college baseball, to be honest with you, where you got to go fly. We're playing at 10 a.m. and then we're going to play again tomorrow, that type of thing. So I think it's one of those ones where they don't have to think about it. They just got to go ball. And they got nothing to lose right now. They were, dead last before Grimace came over in August, whatever it was. And then they got that winning streak.
Do you like them plus a run and a half just to lose by a run?
I like it.
Do we just pick a winner? Are we
honestly, if you're going to do the 1.5, I would just pick Mets money line.
You like Mets money line in this?
I like it better than I like plus 1.5.
Do you like the Brewers though? Who do you think?
I like the Brewers minus 1.5.
You like the Brewers to win?
I think the Brewers.
Let's just take a money line. They're minus 120. All right, we'll take them there.
Oh yeah, 120 money line. I like it.
Braves Padres.
It's a weird one. What's the starters again?
Max Fried, Joe Musgrove.
Yeah, so Fried hasn't been what he normally would be.
I think the Braves might be a little cooked.
Yeah, I think so too.
Max Fried this season against San Diego. One start, 4 1/3 innings, gave up 9 hits, 3 runs, took the loss. Okay. Then Joe Musgrove for San Diego. In his one start this year against the Mets, he went 5 1/3, gave up 1 run.
Yeah.
Padres.
I think Padres.
All right.
Yeah,
that's
I think
plus.
They're at home. Yeah, they're at home. So
$2 wins me $27.
Yeah, I
like it. Now, should I hedge this? Is there another one that I could do $2 on and pick another combination? Are we sure the Astros are going to win?
I feel pretty confident.
I feel pretty confident in that too.
Yeah. I would honestly be shocked.
Should I go Royals over the Orioles?
I like the Orioles.
Okay. Then you want to take the Brewers. We're back and forth on that. So maybe here's our flip here. Let's take the Brewers. And then I feel good about the Padres.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So maybe that's just our one flip. Same thing. $2 wins me 27. Either one of those cashes, we're good. So the only flip there is the Brewers for us.
Yeah.
I like it. I got to get my over bet going on that. All right, appreciate everybody joining us. We got Drennan coming up tonight, so we'll be ready to go. Big Play app. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Don't forget again, Saturday, pregame, Lakewood Truck Park with Jensen Lewis and our crew. So check it out on Big Play, and we'll see you at the Truck Park. I missed anything else? I think we're all good.
Day drinking.
That's it. That's all we got on. Not now. Saturday. Not now. Do it on Saturday. For Pat McGuire, I'm Matt Fontana. As always, take it easy.